You ever look at your life and think, damn, this feels too quiet? Like you're in one of those snow globes. Peaceful, still, fake. That was me last fall. After 15 years as an Army combat photographer, I traded gunpowder for golden hour, lighting and opened a modest little studio near our town square. Blake and Lens. Yeah, cheesy, I know. But it paid the bills, kept my head on straight, and let me spend time with the only two people that ever really mattered. My wife, Lana, and our 6-year-old daughter, Haley. Lana had just come back from maternity leave. Not that we had a baby. No, she was just trying to figure out life again after being mom 24/7 for 3 years. Marketing job, corner office, big clients, and now this vague obsession with finding herself. One Tuesday morning, she walked into the kitchen wearing her old college hoodie and dropped a sentence on me like it was a note for the milkman. I think I need to live alone for a bit. I didn't say anything. I just reached for my coffee, black, no sugar, in my usual mug, the one with a chipped handle and the words, "World's okayest dad." I took a sip, stared at her over the rim. She looked down. Not a separation, just space. I need to breathe. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not the kind of guy who throws chairs or gives speeches about loyalty and vows. I'd seen enough young men lose everything in 30 seconds to know life isn't black and white. But I had rules, honest ones. So I told her, if this is what you need, okay, but 3 conditions. 1, Haley stays with me during the week. 2, we talk, not hide. And 3, I paused. No strangers in our house. I don't want to find out someone else was drinking from my mug. She nodded, teared up a little. We hugged, soft and long. And just like that, she packed a weekend bag and moved into an apartment 15 minutes away. Said it was temporary. Said she'd check in. That Friday, I loaded Haley into my old Jeep Cherokee. Gray, dented, still had a bumper sticker that read my other car's a tank, and drove us upstate to Lake Blackwood. Just me, her, and 2 nights in a cabin that smelled like pine and forgotten campfire stories. She brought her little pink camera, a gift from Lana on her last birthday. Haley called it Pinky. I didn't have the heart to tell her it was. Just a toy with 3 megapixels and the shutter speed of a sleepy sloth. But she loved it. She took pictures of trees, ducks, my boots, her marshmallow with a bite already missing. And then she snapped one of me sitting on the deck, looking out over the lake. I didn't even notice. "Daddy, you look sad there," she told me that night, pointing at the blurry image. "Just thinking," I said. "About Mommy?" "Yeah." She curled up next to me, whispering, "Do you think she's gonna find what she's looking for?" I kissed the top of her head. "I hope she realizes she already had it. That trip reset us a bit, like flipping a breaker in a dark house. When we got back, I was ready to just be present, do the dad thing, run the studio, wait. But then the signals started showing up. Tiny, unspoken signals that rattle something in your gut before your brain catches up. The first one was a smell. Our house always had a mix of lavender cleaner and peanut butter toast, Haley's favorite. But one afternoon I walked in and caught the faint scent of cologne. Not mine. Something musky, spicy, like the kind you find in one of those overpriced gift sets at Target. Lana brushed it off as her co-worker stopping by to drop off paperwork. The second was a cup, a red ceramic mug with a white lightning bolt logo. It showed up on our kitchen counter on a Wednesday. Didn't belong to me, didn't belong to her. I picked it up, turned it in my hands, no chips. Still warm. I didn't say a word. Just snapped a photo and slid it into a folder on my phone called Odd Things. That's who I am. I collect clues before I accuse. It's the army in me. Later that week, Lana texted, "Let's talk soon. I've been thinking about everything," I replied. "Name the time." But she didn't. Not right away. Instead, something else came into my world, something that would take this story from quiet suspicion to full-blown revelation. Her name was Catherine. She called the studio on a Sunday afternoon, voice breathy, a little nervous. "My fiancé and I, we want an intimate photo session. Nothing vulgar, just tasteful, artistic. You were recommended." "By who?" I asked. She hesitated. "Someone who said you see things differently." I agreed. Partly because I needed the gig, partly because I was curious. Couples don't usually book that kind of shoot unless they're either incredibly secure or covering up something else. They came in Friday at noon, Catherine and Marcus, young, polished, matching leather bands on their wrists that looked like they came from a boutique I couldn't afford. He was tall, stylish, with a calm voice. She wore a loose denim shirt over a lace camisole and that chain, thin silver with a tiny turquoise stone. I'd seen that necklace before, years ago, on Lana. When we first met, I pushed the thought aside, shot the session, used soft backlight, wide apertures. Got the kind of frames that magazines love to pretend are candid. They left smiling. The next morning, I found an envelope slid under the studio door. No name. Just my business card with "Thank you" written in cursive on the back and $600 in cash. Overpaying for photos? That's one thing. Overlapping timelines, accessories, and facial expressions? That's something else. I scrolled through the shots later that night, pausing on one where Catherine looked right into the lens, half smiling, with that exact denim shirt half falling off her shoulder. The necklace caught the light. My breath stalled. It wasn't hers. You don't realize how many small details make up your life until one of them changes. A misplaced mug, a smell that doesn't belong, a camera angle that looks too familiar. After that shoot with Catherine and Marcus, I couldn't shake the feeling. That necklace, Lana's necklace, or one just like it, kept looping in my brain like a bad song. I went through old photos on my laptop, the kind we never printed, just kept in folders named after. Months. And there it was. Thanksgiving 3 years ago. Lana at her sister's place laughing over pumpkin pie. Same turquoise stone, same exact chain. I texted Lana that night. "Hey, random question. Do you still have that little blue necklace?" She replied, 5 minutes later. "Which one? Turquoise, silver chain. You used to wear it a lot." "Oh, I think I lost it in storage during the move." "Why?" "Just popped into my head. No reason, I didn't press it, but I knew." Next morning, I woke up early, made pancakes for Haley, and went to grab a mug. The red one was still there, that stupid lightning bolt staring at me like it belonged. So I did what any sane man does when he's quietly unraveling. I put the mug on the top shelf and ignored it. That afternoon, I found something else. I'd been backing up photos from Haley's toy camera, Pinky, as she calls it, and noticed a USB flash drive already in the desktop port. One of those cheap ones you get at tech conferences with logos no one remembers. I clicked it open. Empty folder, no metadata, no name, nothing. I called Lana. "Hey," I said, keeping it casual. "Did you leave a flash drive in the computer?" "Huh? No. Maybe it's yours?" "Not mine." A pause. "Well, I don't know then. Could be from your army buddy. Tom hasn't visited yet." Another pause. "Maybe Haley put it there." I looked at the drive again. Corporate logo. Clean. Not the kind of thing a kid would play with. I didn't say anything else. Just said, "All right," and hung up. Now, I'm not a jealous guy. I'm observant. I see things. That's what I was trained to do. Scan, identify, wait, react. So I waited. I started noting small changes. Her perfume changed. She wore makeup less often but did her nails every time she dropped Haley off. Once, she came by in yoga pants and a hoodie that wasn't hers, at least not originally. It was slightly oversized, black, with a stitched-on logo for a hiking trail she never visited. That kind of detail sticks with me. Then came the message from Marcus. It was 2 weeks after the shoot. I was cleaning gear at the studio when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Hey, Edgar, loved your work. Just wanted to say thanks again. Also, tell Lana she's lucky to have someone like you." I stared at the screen for a while. I typed, "Excuse me?" He replied, "Oops, sorry. Wrong Edgar?" Haha. I didn't answer. 3 hours later, Lana called and asked if she could take Haley for the weekend. Something about bonding time and a nature walk. I agreed, but before they left, I did something I hadn't done since active duty. I activated the GPS tag sewn into Haley's old teddy bear. Call me paranoid. Call me overprotective. But when your daughter says things like, "Mommy's new," "Friend makes funny faces," you start listening between the lines. Sunday evening, I opened the tracking app. She hadn't gone to her apartment. Not even close. Instead, she'd spent the night in a 2-story house out in West Hill. Address registered to, guess who, Marcus Callahan. I didn't lose it. I didn't even call her. I just waited. When Haley came back, I gave her a snack, helped. Her with her drawing, then asked, "Did you take any pictures this weekend?" She beamed. "Pinky's full!" We plugged the camera in, dozens of blurry photos of trees, shoes, a ladybug, and then one clear shot in perfect light. Marcus, Lana, and Haley sitting in a backyard, lawn chairs, lemonade. Lana's hand on Marcus's shoulder, Haley grinning in the middle. I zoomed in. That hoodie again, the one I didn't recognize. She wasn't hiding it. She just thought I wouldn't look. Later that night, I printed the photo and pinned it behind a cupboard door in the kitchen. Somewhere only I'd see it when I made coffee, next to the red mug. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I'm not in the business of ambushes. I believe in evidence, context, control. A few days passed, then she called. "I need to talk," she said. Her voice was tight, hesitant. "Can I come by?" "Bring coffee," I told her. "And not in that red mug." She showed up the next morning. Same hoodie, nervous smile, and holding a paper tray with 2 lattes and a box of those overpriced. Pastries from the corner bakery, the kind she only buys when she feels guilty or nostalgic. Haley was at school. The house was quiet. We sat. "Before you say anything," I said, "I just want to ask one thing. Who is Marcus?" She looked like I slapped her with a question she hoped never to hear. He was my therapist." I blinked. "Excuse me?" She exhaled slowly. "When I started struggling after maternity leave, I didn't want to tell you how bad it got, so I saw someone, privately. It helped for a while. And then? He crossed boundaries. I didn't respond, just waited. He started texting outside sessions, suggesting we meet casually. I told him no, but after a while I got confused. I thought maybe it was just attention. That's all. I swear. I stared at her, calm, still. She sniffled. "I didn't sleep with him, Edgar, I swear. But I let it get too close. I finally said, 'You brought our daughter to his house.' I know. I messed up. And for the first time in years, I saw my wife. Not the tired mom, not the drifting stranger, but the woman I once trusted to read my letters in war zones." I nodded. "Okay," I said. "Now I'll tell you something you didn't know." I reached under the table, pulled out a small folder, and slid across the printed photo. She looked at it, stiffened. "Haley's got an eye," I said. "Must run in the family." There's a silence right before a gun goes off. Not the loud bang, not the recoil. I mean that breathless pause, the stillness between pressure and consequence. That's where we were sitting, me and Lana, at the kitchen table, coffee turning cold, our daughter's accidental photo staring us both in the face. She didn't say anything at first. Just kept her eyes on that photo like it might change if she stared hard enough. "Why didn't you confront me sooner?" she finally asked, her voice like paper tearing. "Because I wanted you to have a chance to choose. Not react, choose." She flinched at that word. Choose. It always sounds so simple until it isn't. "I don't even know when it started," she whispered. "I felt like I was underwater for months. Work didn't feel right. Haley needed more than I could give. And you—" "Me what?" I asked calmly. "You were steady, too steady. Like nothing touched you." I started to feel like I was the only one cracking. I leaned back in my chair, ran my thumb along the chipped handle of my favorite mug. "You wanted me to crack?" "No," she said. "I wanted to know you were struggling too, that you weren't just waiting for me to catch up." We sat in that loaded silence again. I asked, "And Marcus? Was he the fix?" She shook her head fast. "No, I swear, it was never physical. I never kissed him. I just let the lines blur." "Why?" She looked down. "Because he listened, not just to my words. He saw the mess under them. That hit harder than I expected." I took a breath. You know what bothers me the most? She looked up, bracing herself. It's not the texts, or the hoodie, or that damn red mug. It's that, you let him near Haley. That's not a blurred line. That's a barbed wire fence you stepped over. Tears welled in her eyes. But I wasn't looking for guilt. I was looking for clarity. She nodded. You're right. Then she reached into her purse and pulled out a small envelope. Inside was a typed letter. No legal jargon. Just a signed statement terminating therapy with Marcus, effective weeks ago. Attached was another sheet, a formal complaint filed to his licensing board. I ended it before you asked, she said, because I knew it had gone too far. I knew before you even found that photo. I believed her, not because I wanted to, but because people don't fake that kind of surrender. Then she added something I didn't expect. Catherine knew. I raised an eyebrow. Your sister? She knew something was off. She suspected Marcus had feelings, but I shut her down, so she found a way to reach you. The photo shoot? She nodded. She knew you'd catch it. The necklace, the pose. She was never subtle. I laughed quietly. No, she wasn't. She gave me a $600 breadcrumb trail. Lana smiled for the first time in weeks. Then it faded. So, what now? I stood, walked over to the kitchen drawer and pulled out a box. It was Haley's toy camera. Pinky, I handed it to Lana. Our daughter's got better instincts than both of us. She doesn't know it yet, but she already saved something important. Lana held the camera like it was holy. I looked at her, steady. I'm not kicking you out, but I'm not opening the door either. You know where we are. If you want to find your way back, it won't be with coffee or apologies. It'll be with truth. Daily truth. Even the ugly. Kind, she nodded, eyes full but not spilling. As she turned to leave, I added, and when you come back, don't bring someone else's mug. She paused at the door. What if I bring donuts? Depends on the flavor. She left with a sad smile and a promise. Not the spoken kind. The kind you make when you know the next step actually matters. A few months passed. I hired Tom, my old army buddy, as a part-time assistant. We turned the back half of the studio into a kids' photo corner. Called it Tiny Truths. Haley took the first shot. A little boy dressed as a pirate, holding a plastic sword like it meant something. It did. Lana visited every week. Sometimes with food, sometimes with drawings Haley made for her. She never stayed long. She was rebuilding, slowly. No shortcuts, no Marcus. One morning, she came by holding a small wrapped box. Inside was a mug, white, plain, with one line printed in bold red letters. I found myself. She was at home all along. She didn't say a word, just put it next to my old mug and kissed me on the cheek. A year later, we had a son, named him James Elijah. James for my mother, Elijah for her sister. That was the truce. Haley still takes photos, still captures things we miss. One of them, our whole family in the backyard, messy hair, cereal bowls, pajamas at noon, got selected for a local gallery exhibition. They asked her what the photo was called. She said, "It's called When Love Hit Pause, Then Hit Play Again." Damn right it did.